Welcome to Season 2 of the podcast where we talk to my buddy Chad about living rent-free in New York City. Season 2. Yeah, that's what we're calling it.
The name of the show is Season 2?
No. The name of the show is there was already a Flash thing. Everybody already knows that.
Okay.
We're doing the whole intro thing.
It's not Season 2 with Rob.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Didn't you see the beginning? It was like on today's episode we talk about, and then like it's all flashy and cool.
I remember it now.
Yeah, now I've got a lot to live up to to actually record that. So yeah, welcome back. It's been a long hiatus. I haven't done this in a while. Kind of thought that it was stupid. Everybody's got their own little thing where they're like, subscribe, watch my thing, and I like struggled with it, for a while, and it was like, why should I make something when everybody else is doing it? But then like I watched everybody else's stuff, and it was like, it wasn't good. So like when it's not good, you like make what.
Why doesn't someone do this good?
Yeah, right. No, I think that van life is honestly on social media by a bunch of narcissists who are like, look at my van, everything I've done is a gift from God. You're wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's true. I mean, I like to hide all the bad parts of it, and then I keep thinking, yeah, let's make it look. I want to show the real part of this so people know the real. Yeah,
so that's kind of the idea. That's why I came back with this. It's just like I've had so many good conversations with people, and it's just like, part of the thing is a lot of people are escaping New York City. Rent prices, they're like astronomically out of control. Like, it's $1,000 more in rent prices, like legit, in Bushwick. A $2,000 apartment is a $3,000 apartment from like 2019, and it's like, it's the most insane like uptick I've ever seen. So, So anyway, this is
on
the
that
podcast. Note, Chad, why don't you introduce yourself? This is Chad, resident of VanAlley.
Hello, my name's Chad. I live in a 2015 Ram ProMaster that I self-converted about 3 years ago now. And I did a remodel about a year ago, so it's almost 75% remodeled.
Okay. So you went, when you say remodeled, you mean like you tore it down to the studs, or you like?
Almost, yeah, to the plywood board walls. I tore it down, took out, I had a bed, dinette, couch that I tore all out, basically only leaving the kitchen counter, and then rebuilt the bed area, the dinette area, all that. So
what inspired the remodel?
Living in it for 2 years and just hating it. Yeah. It was a Murphy bed, so folded down
every night.
Completely took out the couch, the living area, so cleaning that every day to be able to put the bed down, and then cleaning the bed to be able to have the living space. So after about a year of that, I just left the bed down and just lived on top of the bed.
Yeah.
Had no like seating area, so I switched to a fixed bed now. Much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
I've like fought the fixed bed for so long. I've had it, and I was like, I need to walk all the way through the van, and then like I tried the fixed bed where it's like a center middle, and then I tried like couch where I'm at now, and it's just like I can't get it right. I'm gonna figure it out eventually. I think maybe motorized from the ceiling.
See, those look so cool. I love those. They look amazing. But then I think, okay, I'm still having to clean my table off so I can lower it far enough.
No. You just crunch everything.
That's how you compress.
Yeah. It's called van life cleaning. You just drive around, you let all your shit fall on the floor, and then you're like, well, it's all broken now, so
Open
just throw
the door,
it out.
Keep driving.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever falls out, you don't need.
So one thing I really liked to do when I had this before was kind of an exchange of local things. So today we're drinking beverages from the Canal House, courtesy of Chad. Thank you.
Of course. Clink.
Yeah. And I have a gift for you.
Ooh.
It is.
Oh.
Yes. A flag of VanAlley.
Yes. prized possession now. This is amazing. I am very excited about this.
So Chad has lived here. How long have you lived here?
8 months.
8 months.
Yeah.
It feels so much longer than that. Everybody who's here long term just kind of turns into, I don't know, like a resident, and it's like you're the first person who's here who's like created content. So like when I'm not here, I'm like, ooh, what's going on at
Stuff's
VanAlley?
still happening.
Yeah. Like you're filming the fireworks that went off the other night.
Yeah. It's
anyway.
happening here. Oh yeah, you gotta do
Mine
it with the
didn't.
mic.
Yeah. Mine didn't crack.
That's
It's
gonna
not
be way too
carbonated.
loud.
Yeah. Cheers again.
Cheers, clink. Those are real sound effects.
So,
Whew.
for everybody who doesn't know where VanAlley is, should I tell them?
I think so. I think this place is going to be gone in the next year, so
Yeah.
you might as well.
Right. Well, Ken Ale House, as we said, is VanAlley.
Yeah, right at the corner.
Yeah, when I lived here, 2019, I ate most of my meals there. I was still eating meat. I had a chicken sandwich like on demand. Like I walked in, people were like, "Chicken sandwich with fries."
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but when I first got here, it was still the Omicron variant was still pretty high, so things were mostly closed. So the Kent Ale House was like where I was frequenting for food because most things weren't open back up yet. But now, I feel like everything's pretty much back almost for this area.
Let's go into that. Like I think that like one thing that I get the most questions about is living in New York City. Like what's that like? Like what is it? What's your biggest, I guess, fear coming in that you've like totally just like thrown out the window since being here?
It was the safety of my van when I leave it. So I came from the West Coast, and I knew I was coming out here, so I was prepping the van, and I was thinking, okay, I need locks on every door. I need like reinforced steel covering the windows. Like I need alarm system. I need cameras. I need everything. Like I just was super panicked, thinking that if I leave the van alone for a second, it's going to get stolen or broken into or something. So the crime was like my biggest worry. I am a flight attendant.
Oh, cool.
So I work, I go to the airports a lot. And I was originally thinking that what I would have to do is leave my van at the airport if I wanted to go into the city so that I know it would be safe in the employee parking lot. But, I mean, maybe a month in, I'm like totally comfortable. I mean, especially with VanAlley. Like VanAlley is like, I feel super safe here. So it's like, I could feel like I could leave my van here for weeks on a time. And I know that the other van lifers around here will at least watch it. So that got thrown out of the window right away.
I would walk to, I used to work at the hotel right here. I used to walk to the hotel and I'd just leave my doors unlocked. Like,
really?
2020, February 2020, I was like, I'm in 9 to 4. Like, nobody's going to come, screwing with my van. And it's funny, of all the times I've been in the city, the most populated street I was on, Union and Grand, like ton of foot traffic 24/7. Somebody tagged it. That's the only thing that's ever happened in the city. So
yeah. I mean
did you intend to live here? Like
I always wanted to. So with the way my career works is you get based at an airport and it might not be the airport you live at. So like I live in the state of Arizona, and there is no bases there for my airline. So I knew right away I wasn't going to be based at home. So I was prepping my van, living in the van so that I can have 2 places to live in. But I knew that I was going to be based somewhere else, and I always wanted to try New York City. I mean, like, I think everyone thinks about living in New York City at some point. So I knew this was the best way for me to be able to do it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, New York City's like a hop, skip away from hometown. Like, I don't know. Did you have any, like, I mean, you mentioned the crime a little bit, but, like, what's the, like, perception of New York now? I mean, you've been here, but, like, this is your first time, like, living here, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Much friendlier than anyone ever thinks or dictates or pictures in movies. Like, everyone assumes it's the Jersey accent, walking down the street yelling at cabs.
I'm walking
Yeah,
here.
get out of my way. But it's totally opposite. It's super friendly. I mean, they're so unique with the characters that are all around. Like, people are nice. I mean, compared to like LA or Seattle or any of the other big cities, like New York's the friendly city, but it doesn't get that rap on
the interwebs.
On the interwebs or social medias.
So on a day-to-day basis, let's say you have the day off. You're parked up, you're VanAlley, you have 3 days off. Like, how does one live here? Like, what do you do for groceries? What do you do for bathrooms? How do you shower? How much do you spend a week?
Yeah. Oh, man, how much do I spend? That's really bad because I don't ever pay attention to my money. But,
it's just like, you look at your bank account, it's gone.
Yeah. So for me specifically, since I'm a flight attendant, and I use my van that I live in to drive to work, I'll come in from a trip, get into my van in the employee lot, drive here to VanAlley, usually find a spot. Although now that we've been talking, or you've been talking about it a lot more, it's getting
Patrick,
more
New
and
Jersey.
more difficult. For the first 5-6 months, always could get a spot here, which was nice. But yeah, park up, and then
Ready? Hold on.
Visitors walking by.
VanAlley, folks.
Yeah, so then I find my parking spot, and then
God bless you.
Thank you. Very, very important. You doing a podcast?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Cheers.
Do a proper cheers. You got
There we go.
Hey.
Clinks,
Cheers.
clinks. They have accents.
Where are they from?
Oh, that was clearly England.
Yeah.
I have no clue. I'm really bad at
Maybe
that.
they just put it on. They've had a few.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, are you from London?
Well, yeah. It's like Aussie.
Parking. Patrick, New Jersey Outdoor Adventure YouTube channel ruined the spot.
Yes.
And go.
Yeah. So I find my parking spot, and then I have 2 different bathroom options. There's a park just 1 block away that has the public stalls.
Ooh, which one do you use?
I use the new one that you told me about.
The shipping container?
Yeah, which I had no clue about for the first 3 months.
Yeah.
No clue. Super nice.
Joe.
bathrooms.
You met Joe?
Yes. Joe moved to Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Told me about it.
Really?
Yeah. It's fun how
That's so
this
funny.
information just
Yeah.
trickles down. It's like, oh, Rob told me. It's like, oh, Chad told me. Oh.
Yeah, so it's either one of those 2 bathrooms. Generally the shipping container ones because they're so much nicer and they're private. My grocery store is the starts with an H, but it's a couple blocks
The
down.
Brooklyn Harvest?
Yeah, Harvest.
Yeah. You ever go Trader Joe's?
Sometimes it's a little further.
Yeah.
And
Those extra 3 blocks,
Yeah.
man, they kill you.
I don't want to do it. Whole Foods,
Yeah.
I've hit that up.
If you got to do an Amazon return.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But generally it's the Harvest. I'll go to that one. And then, what was the other parts of your question? You had so many parts of how much do I spend a week?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Because I'm more of I still consider myself like a tourist, not like a resident in New York. I probably spend a lot more, maybe about $150 a week because I go
That's not
out
bad.
a lot.
That's not bad.
No? Yeah,
No.
okay, good.
I spend a lot on Seamless.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
working late, $50 Seamless. It's justified. Do you ever use the hotels?
No, I haven't done that.
No?
Yeah, I've heard of some of the guys doing that, but
That's my life hack.
I get too nervous.
No, when they were open,
They'd see
it's
me
not about
sweating
like.
from a block away as I come in and looking around. They're like, "Do you need help, sir?" I stay here. Bathroom?
No, the Hoxton has like a coffee shop lobby.
Okay.
So I go there. I order a scone and a coffee. I work there. Cafe Colette's really good too.
Santander, that work cafe. That's the one I've gone to before.
Where's that?
Maybe 6 blocks south.
This isn't really a podcast. This is just a learning experience for how I can find a new place to work.
Yeah.
But like, do you mostly spend your time out on your days off? Like, do you just park the van and like?
No, I mean I did at first. The first month or two, I was going out a lot, but now I like yesterday. I had all day off yesterday, and today's also my day off. So yesterday I came in from Bogota, Colombia. It was like 6 a.m. is when I got in. So I came in, and then I went to bed right away because I worked the whole flight. Right. So
it's like, how do I say you're exhausted?
Yeah. I woke up maybe around like 8 p.m. and then I just stayed in the van, played video games. Maybe about midnight I went out and got some food and came back until about like 7, and then finally went to bed again. Yeah. And then today, pretty much stayed in the van most of the day. Again today, just playing video games. I went out, got some food, came back. That was really it. Oh, I went to the Google store today. That's nice. About it. Yeah.
2 questions.
Yes.
1, do you ever do this? Do you ever leave the door open and just like...
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
Too many.
I don't know why.
It's
like,
so
it's
nice.
So nice. And people, like, at first I was nervous about people walking by and being like, yeah, 911? Yeah, this guy's living in his van. You need to impound it. So I was nervous about that, but no, I don't. I really should.
Yeah.
During the summer, I cracked it a few times to try and cool it down, but it didn't work out too well.
No, I was always putting like the same, like a book in a door. There was a person I met, I forget. I know people by Instagram. I don't know people's actual names.
That's good enough. That's probably how they want you to know them.
Yeah, they were on the McCarran Park. Literally, back doors wide open, sliding door open. I waved at them the previous night. Like I walked by and they're like reaching in their cab, like to get something, and I'm like, the fuck. Fuck off. But the next day I was like, hey, I live in a van too. Like, sorry, I scared you last night.
I'm waving at you.
Yeah. And they were like, oh, it's fine. Like, I kind of figured that wave, meant that. Like, nobody's like waving at people in cars,
Yeah. Hey, you're in a car.
I've never seen this before. I'm from the 1800s.
I like that they were kind of weirded out that you're acknowledging them when they had all their doors and windows open. Yeah, it's like you gotta acknowledge people at that point.
No, I'm fully, like, even a mess now, I'm wide open. Like,
really?
When I'm at VanAlley, fucking those doors are open. I got the I mean, unless I have Manny with me, and like I don't have a way of like closing them off in the front. I mean, it also depends on the season, right? Like during the summer you want to do it, during the winter it's like, are you psychotic?
Yeah, like today's a great day to do it.
Yeah, this is like prime VanAlley.
Yeah.
Just days like.
This was a reason why I remodeled my van, though.
Oh, how so?
My original van, which had a wall right here.
Oh.
And on that side, so like where you are.
Yeah.
When you came into the van, there was a mirror, and it was my vanity, basically. So there's a mirror right there, a little flip-up table where I can, like, do my prep, get my face beautiful.
Right. I don't live in a van.
Yeah. And then right around there was a seat, like a captain's chair type seat almost, that faced this way, where it was my laptop station, and I had, like, this swivel laptop mount that held my laptop and, like, a little spot for my mouse, my gaming station. And then I had my couch. But because of that big bulkhead wall that I had for my vanity, when I'm on the couch or when I was on the bed, you couldn't see out the door at all. So it like kind of killed all those hashtag van life vibes that people would get when they go out into the woods, even though I've never taken my van out into the woods.
Yeah.
So when I remodeled it, I kept that in mind. I was like, I need to be able to see the door if I happen to have it open, which I rarely ever do. So
I don't know if the slider door is the answer for me. I think the back doors are kind of my new design way, because it's like since I've remodeled to put the kitchen in the back, like I exclusively use the back door. It's like I've got the entryway from the side door as well, but like
Yeah.
it's so like
Which is
private.
just-
You open the door, you walk in, like
It's the craziest thing.
it's a
I
house
think.
door.
Like when you tell people my kitchen's in the back, I think that people
It
are like,
throws
okay,
people
he's
for a
the
loop.
crazy guy
Yeah.
in the van life community.
Yeah. Like bed goes in the back, kitchen goes on the side,
Yeah.
shower goes up front. Like
Thank you. That's how it is. Yes.
no, I'm breaking the mold.
Yeah.
I'm doing the podcast that's not like I have 80 million followers
Yeah.
and like subscribe.
Induction cut pal.
Yeah. I saw this video the other day that was it was like, here's the perfect van build. 200 watts of solar. I was like, are you high?
I saw that. I was like, where do you live with
Yeah.
you only need 200 watts of solar?
200 watts of solar barely keeps your fridge afloat.
Yeah.
Like,
I had so many troubles with my fridge this summer.
yeah. How did you figure out electrical? What was your like experience? Like what was your hold on.
It's ongoing.
Pre-electric, what was your experience with tools in general? Like how did you decide besides budget, how did you decide to build it yourself versus, trying to find a builder?
I have always been into kind of like woodworking. I like building stuff. So I already had most of the woodworking tools. And I had built things previously. Like I've done framing, built my own workshop, built like my own little cabinetries and tables and things like that. So I've had that experience. So I was totally comfortable with actually building out the van itself.
Sure.
Especially, I mean, like you watch enough YouTube.
Yeah.
And you could learn what you really need to if you pay attention.
Here's how to make something square.
Yeah. So that was easy enough. But the electrical, I had no clue about that. I've done very minor, like electrical at home, like changing out an outlet or something like that. So having to not only figure out the electrical, but then figuring out 12 volt, which is totally new. I mean, I heavily relied on YouTube.
Yeah.
Will Prowess on YouTube, which I think most people who are interested in
I think
van
YouTube
life know him.
YouTube made it harder for me to understand. Like my
Really?
dad's an electrician, and
Oh.
like I kind of like had a toe in the water
Yeah.
of like understanding stuff. I mean, I couldn't change an outlet or anything, prior to this, but I was like, oh, okay. But wire gauges, somebody explained it to me on YouTube, and I was doing some weird stuff.
Yeah.
I was like taking 14 gauge wire and taking the positive and wiring it, and then taking 2 wires to pull the ground back, because this guy on YouTube was like, your ground wire needs to be thicker than you. Like, everybody
Wow.
on YouTube is not
Yeah. You got to find one
the best
source.
person. Like,
Go with one source.
if somebody has confidence, they can explain you into like a whole. Do you remember like the old fake instructional videos where it was like, open up MDOS, delete your home folder,
Oh, God.
like, and people were like ruining their computers. So like, again, this is as I look directly into the camera. Just
There's
because
cameras?
just because it's on YouTube doesn't mean it's real. Don't blindly follow anyone, including me. This is just advice. This is just meeting other people.
Yeah.
What they do is not necessarily correct.
I think the best way to learn from YouTube is learn from other people's mistakes. Don't learn
Yeah.
from what they say they know.
Yeah, right.
Because
They're like, hey, so I did this and it caught fire.
yeah,
Here's
so
why.
Don't do that one. Like you told me to ground my whole system.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't need to ground it.
Oh, you don't need to. It's
But
just
then
more
I grounded
efficient.
it.
Like you gain. I don't know. I actually have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not going to
Yeah.
try and explain something one margarita deep with no food. Oh,
Yeah,
wow, that's
but
gone already.
going through the whole 12 volt electrical, I mean, it's still a challenge. Like
Yeah.
every day I'm like, I get in my van, I look at my battery monitor, I'm like, oh my god, it's only at 78%. What did I do wrong? Why wasn't it charging?
Yeah.
Is this battery bad? Is that battery good? Did I not ground it properly? Like, it's just an ongoing battle. Like, I have 2 Max Air fans, and this one, for some reason, keeps erroring, thinking it doesn't have the right voltage, even though the other one works just fine all the time. So it's like...
Max Air fans are like known for going bad. Like, does it beep at all?
Yeah.
It's
the
probably
beep
bad.
of death.
Yeah.
It's,
You've seen all
it's
that.
the worst. And
Yeah.
that's the new one. Like, that was the old one.
We had a brand new one
Ugh.
fail like right out of the box.
Really?
Yeah. It happens. Fun fact. This had been my first summer in New York since owning the van. Like full summer. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
I've been van lifing like over 3 years, and so I bought the van in July. I didn't really live in it. I was like kind of at my old apartment. I was sleeping in like the room that I threw everything in. I like threw all my garbage in there, and I threw a mattress on top of it and like jumped on top of the mattress. The guy who was just here.
You're gonna stab yourself.
I know. I want to. He would open the door. He's like, "How do you live in there?" I'm like, "It's fine."
And that's how it is now?
No. That's no. I was like sleeping at an apartment kind of because I was like nervous. You know, same thing like what you said. Like it's like I don't want to sleep in the van. The first night I slept in the van, I was watching Stranger Things with a mattress on the floor. Somebody like stood on my tire because they heard.
Something.
Because I hit pause and it was like somebody's living in there. I was like, oh fuck, they know they're gonna break in.
They're calling the cops.
Yeah,
on
they're
me!
gonna get me.
Run up to the front and start the engine.
No, I was like peeking through the curtain, looking through the rearview mirror. They were standing on the rear tire, like looking up, I guess, to see if there was solar. They were probably like into it, but they were like creepy as hell about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like nervous to take the final
Was
plunge.
that here in VanAlley?
No, that was Barry and North 7th or 6th. It was like one of those. It was 6th because 7th is like the premium.
Because this, I mean, like, for anyone who doesn't know this area, it's a big bar nightclub area.
Right.
So, like, on the weekends, there's people crowding down here.
Yeah.
And I'm always nervous about that. Like, are they going to climb on because I have a ladder on the back. Are they going to climb up on the top to party?
Yeah. They did for July 4th. They climbed on sleds.
No way.
Yeah. I haven't told them that.
I'd be so nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, it's weird to take that final plunge and like be like, wow, this is safer than my house.
Yeah.
Like, like I have apartments and things that I shower at, and the hot water doesn't get as hot as my van. Like, I hate that, like, I can't control things. Like, if you're in an apartment, you can't, like, go downstairs and, like, turn on the furnace to be hot. Like, the landlord has all the control.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in New York City.
Yeah.
But, like, with the van during the summer, like, I turn that, what do you call it? Hot digital electric hot water heater.
Ooh.
I'm one margarita deep. On, and like I control everything. Like I can control how much power I consume. I can drive, I can get gas, like like it's really crippling when you get into an apartment and you have zero control. I don't know, van life is so empowering in that way, like that you can just
Yeah, and if you hate your neighbors, you just drive down the block. Boom.
Yeah. What's your number 2 spot to VanAlley?
Where do I poop? Is that what you're asking?
No. No. You come down here, VanAlley, it's not parking. Do you have like a safety number 2?
Not really. There is like one spot a block up where it's like a construction area. But there's a parking, like technically it's a legal parking spot, but no one ever parks there because it looks like it's a construction entrance.
Sure.
So I park there because my vehicle, the exterior of my vehicle, I made it super stealth. So it looks like a construction vehicle.
Stealth isn't real.
Yeah. It's got like a ladder rack on the top and like, so I park there and I haven't had any issues. Like, so that's my kind of number 2 spot. But other than that, like just around the Williamsburg area, there's tons of parking spots. Like when I had COVID maybe 3 or 4 months back, so I was like quarantined in my van, and I was like, since I can't go out, I was like, I'm gonna go park at a new spot today instead of being in VanAlley. So
Sure.
I parked at like 2 or 3 other spots in Williamsburg area. I had no issues finding a parking spot. And when I find a parking spot, there's always like certain elements I need, like it has to have access to sunlight so I can charge up.
Right.
I like to be close to a public restroom. I want it to be not in a spot where, like, if some crazy drunk driver's going too fast, they aren't going to smash into the back of my van where I'm, like, sleeping.
Right.
And then public Wi-Fi. I mean, especially in New York, like those Link NYC devices.
Do you get
those
Wi-Fi
are
here?
great. Oh, yeah. I have a Wi-Fi booster,
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
that's what helps.
What is that? Just for...
It's the WineGuard or WinGuard, something like that.
And
that's the booster that I have.
And how does that work? You have to join the Wi-Fi every time, or it like remembers it?
Remembers it, saves it. So like once I get in the area of any of those Link NYCs, it automatically connects to it for me.
And you're about like, what would you say, like 50, 100 feet down?
Oh yeah, I'm half a block away from where that. I'm half a block away from where that Link NYC
And
booth is. And
full service.
Full service. I'm gaming on it. Like I'm online gaming with it from that distance.
What are you doing online? Like
Minecraft, but
oh, okay, all right.
but yeah, I'm playing like on a multiplayer server on it. Which
Do you
is
ever
fine.
download anything?
Yeah, I stream. I'm like while I'm playing, I'm also streaming either Netflix or YouTube or something like that. Download from it.
Have you gotten a speed
sometimes.
test?
I think I did one a while back, and it was like maybe 5 gigs.
5
download.
gigs?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
No. Yeah.
5 gigs per, like the little
Yeah.
thing? No. Nuh-uh. I call
Maybe
bullshit.
I'm saying megabytes.
Yeah, it's 5 megabytes. No way.
Sorry, I'm like a quarter of this hard seltzer.
Yeah. Just blame it on the alcohol. Wow.
But yeah. Like
No, I remember
5 to 10. Like it's, and if I'm closer, it's way better.
right.
Like those things are high speed.
Yeah, they are pretty good. I just
Yeah.
like I am trying to figure out what to do for internet. So, WineGuard, how much was it?
That one was $300. It also has like a 4G chip in it, so like you can get their like 4G service and put like a cell phone little chip in there.
Can you get
and it
anything?
works.
Or you have to like buy their service?
I think you have to buy their service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I originally bought it thinking it was also a cell booster.
Oh, like a Wii Boost or something?
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Yeah, right.
So I've just used it for the Wi-Fi. I don't use it for their 4G thing.
No, I think that's the way to go in New York, is not to use like your cell phone signal. It's just to hop on the link.
Yeah.
For a while, like I said, I was just going to the hotel and just using the coffee shop Wi-Fi.
I mean, if I have to park further down in VanAlley where the Wi-Fi's not working, or sometimes if that goes out of service, I have a second cell phone just for the van.
Second cell phone. Who are you, Walter White?
Ooh, shh. And I use that for hotspotting. And yeah, you're right. It's not the best. It like kind of sucks. It goes in and out.
I feel like this building is the problem.
It could be. Yeah. Big metal building next to us.
So, you're leaving VanAlley.
I am. Yeah. I put in for a transfer to a new base on the West Coast to Seattle. So.
Is that, you don't see yourself coming back here? Or?
Oh, I do. I absolutely see myself coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple reasons why I want to go back to the West Coast. One is to be able to be closer to home, because if I do want to go home, I need at least 4 days off of work to be able to make it worthwhile, because it takes a whole day to fly there and a whole day to fly back. So that's 2 days out of my days off killed. And it's like 7-8 hours of flight time. So I'm just exhausted just from commuting home. So being closer to home, my father and my sister live out in Seattle. So I'll be able to, visit them more often, plus have a place to charge up my van if I need to actually plug into shore power. And then I also want to do some work on the van. I'm going to add an actual AC unit onto the roof.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then, because I've been having issues with my batteries, so only one of my batteries is connected right now. I have 2 lithium 200 amp hour batteries.
Sure.
and only one of them's connected right now because they're not balanced, and I was having issues with them earlier. So
Interesting.
yeah, so I want to work on all that, and I've even contemplated the idea of building out a whole new van, and it would be way easier to do it like having like my dad's driveway to be able to to work in.
Would you get
van.
diesel again?
I would like diesel again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like diesel.
What's your mileage?
How much do I have right now?
Yeah.
It's at 60,000 miles.
And you got it with?
40,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. Yeah, I mean this.
I mean, you could probably sell it for what you got it at if you stripped everything out in the build for more, just by like the the diesel nature of vehicles and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's kind of the thought process is I'll come back to New York eventually.
Yeah.
Like I'm also like the way my industry works is it's all based on seniority, so you get trips based on how senior you are. So I'm pretty junior in the company, so I don't get that great of trips. But here in New York City, this is where most junior people get sent. So I don't have a lot of seniority, but I have some good seniority here. I've been getting a lot of good trips. I mean, I go to Europe or South America 3 times a month. And I'm worried that over in Seattle, it's going to be a lot less. So just that alone might bring me back to New York City to have better trips at my career.
Right. Kind of all over the place, but what made you? Because I feel like flight attendant and van is like such like a urge to travel type person. Was there like something that like pushed you into that, or was it just like? Because I like the two kind of go hand in hand. Do you think that's true for you?
They do go hand in hand, that's for sure. But I don't know if that's really true for me. Like, I don't use van life in the way that a lot of the Instagrammers use van life.
Right.
I don't drive around anywhere. Like, my van is either here in VanAlley or it's at the JFK parking lot.
Right.
It's one of those two. Like, I'm not taking it on adventures. I'm not going out into the woods. I don't camp in it. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
So that's a little abnormal for me. And like going into being a flight attendant for me was just more about most of my jobs in my life have been where I'm traveling in some way. And I liked that. And I'd done enough air travel to where I'd thought about becoming a flight attendant previously. Like, that seems like a pretty good job. So I went into becoming a flight attendant first. And then maybe about 8 or 9 months in, I mean, first of all, like, if you don't know about what being a flight attendant is like, it's like the craziest career. It's like they call it a lifestyle because, like I mentioned before, you get based somewhere completely different than where you live. And you either decide to move to that state or you commute. So commuting for us is flying to, like driving to the airport, flying to whatever state you work in. That's a commute for flight attendants.
Jeez.
So right out of the gate, I got based in Salt Lake City, and I lived in Arizona.
That's not too bad.
Not terrible. Like, it's an hour and a half flight. So commuting was flying up to Salt Lake City. Then if you are a commuter, then once you're there, you need a place to stay because you don't get hotels paid for unless you're on a trip. So if, say, you had a trip that starts at 6 a.m., you need to fly in the day before work to be able to be there for your 6 a.m. flight.
That's crazy.
So you're in the day before, and now you either need a hotel room, which
you have to pay
expensive. For that. Yeah, which you would have to pay for that for the night before your trip, or what we call crash pads. So you'd have to get a crash pad. And a crash pad is where it's usually like an apartment or a house where there's like 13 to 15 other flight attendants all living there in bunk beds. Like, they take a bedroom and they put like 3 or 4 bunk beds in it. And you get hot beds where someone's in it every night, a different person, or cold beds where it's your bed always, No one else is staying in that bed. So the whole crash pad life was just not for me. Like, I did it for 8 months.
Do you pay for that? Like, what's
yeah. I mean, you're like basically renting a room from someone.
So that was a lot. Sorry, we had to pause for that enormous engine. So you rent like it's like a hostel. It's like $5 a night, $18 a night.
God, no. It's like if you're doing one of the cold beds, it's like $250, $350 a night. I mean, here in New York, I think
A
it's
night?
Sorry, a month.
Oh my God.
I said a night.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's like rent for renting a room, sharing a room for someone in a normal city. I mean, here in New York, it's a
college
little more
dorm kind of thing.
Yeah.
I
think my coworkers here in New York spend like $500 or $600.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did that for a while, and I was like, this is not the life for me. I can't. Like, if I'm going back and forth.
Does it get like promiscuous in there?
Some places, yeah. I mean, like, they're all either set up by other flight attendants or people who used to be in the career. So, they all have different rules, like depending on where you go and everything. Some of them are female only, some are male only, pilots only, flight attendants only, mixed. So it can get pretty weird sometimes.
Fair. So that's your Instagram name. Makes so much sense.
Yes.
Van Life Crash Pad.
Van Life Crash Pad. Like 8 months into that, I was like, there's no way I can do this for the rest of my career. So I knew I would never be based at home. So it's like, I got to find some alternative. And, getting your own apartment's way too, like having an apartment and a house, like it's ridiculous. That's stupid.
You're renting for like 6 months for your...
Yeah.
Doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, so I had a pickup truck, and I originally decided to get a truck camper.
Oh.
Like, I just bought one of the really cheap, like, it was $4,000, like, one of the Lance truck campers.
For living, yeah.
Exactly, and I just popped it onto the back. It wasn't a all-season, it was like a single season. It was like the thinnest truck camper possible, and I was using it in Salt Lake City during the winter. It was freezing.
you blew out a tire or something?
Oh
I feel
God,
like I kind of remember the story.
Yeah. So I was based in Salt Lake for the longest time, and in that truck camper, and like it was fine. Like it was so awesome compared to being in a crash pad. And then I transferred to Seattle, and driving it from Salt Lake to Seattle, about halfway there, on the freeway, middle of the night, middle of Boise, Idaho, like there's nothing, like you can't see anything around. Just all of a sudden, huge loud bang. The truck just starts grinding, swerving side to side. Like I thought the thing was going to flip over. Like I'm just going across all the lanes of traffic. I'm looking in my rearview mirror and my side mirror, and there's just this huge shower of sparks just flying through the air.
Driver's side?
On the passenger side. And somehow I managed to just get it off to the side of the road and come to a complete stop. And the whole thing is like tilting. And when I get out to go and look to see what the hell just happened, the entire tire, the rear passenger side tire, everything, all about it, it's just, all that's left is like the nub for the axle.
Jeez.
On the ground. Whole tire just gone somewhere. Just came flying the frick off. So I had to have that towed in and get it all replaced and fixed up to take it off to Seattle. And
what's it cost to tow like a truck with camper?
God, I don't know. Luckily, my insurance covered it all.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. I think it was like maybe a couple $100.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't too terrible, but
honestly, that's the best piece of advice I can give. Don't try and like cheat your insurance company. It doesn't matter if it's $50 more. You're gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
Be an RV. Don't lie to them. I think that like I was so against telling the truth to anybody. Like my parents were like, "You're living in a van down by a river." Like I had a bunch of like.
My name is Matt Foley.
Yeah, I'm 35 years old.
Divorced thrice.
No, but like I lied to all my friends. I lied to just anybody I knew, because I was like, I'm not going to be able to, like, nobody's going to want to hang out with
Yeah.
me, you know?
Oh, I was so embarrassed to tell people at work. Like,
Yeah.
they would ask, because there's like 4 questions every flight attendant get asks. Oh, where are you off to? How many days off do you have? Where do you stay? Like, they always the same. Like, that's how you talk to each other. You just use those same questions.
Sure.
So it's like every time they got to the, oh, where do you stay? Do you commute, or do you live here? Where do you stay? And it's always like,
Okay.
I sleep in the parking lot. I sleep in the parking lot. So it's like, but I learned that there's a lot of, not a lot, but it's known in the, like, airline industry that this is something to do.
Right.
Because so many people don't want to have 2 places.
It's like a job hack.
Yeah, there's like 4 vans that park in my airline specific parking lot. That just for like the flight attendant pilot crew. There's 4 vans there alone. When I was in Salt Lake City, there was like 6 or 7, and some of them, they had like 40-foot RVs.
Oh, damn.
Like they were full living out, like slide outs and everything.
And
like,
what's the, like, is that okay? Like, are the airlines like, can't park here?
depends on the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's one reason why I made this van so, like, quote unquote stealth.
Yeah.
I, like,
With the, like, ladder and everything.
I have no windows with the ladder, with the, like, road placard on the side to make it look like a work vehicle. All of that. Oh, I still have it, but a hard hat.
Yeah.
And a construction safety vest
Yeah.
that I wrap around the passenger seat and put the hard hat on the window. Like, I was like trying to, like, really make it look like a work vehicle, because in Seattle, the employee parking lot has a really strict rule where it's like, it says no conversion vans, no camper vans, no RVs.
Yeah.
So because of that, I was like, oh man, if I'm going to do this, I got to really make it stealth. But then I brought my truck camper up there and they didn't give a crap.
Yeah. Do you think in New York, if you did, because, like, I feel like in New York it's better to showcase yourself as a camper van versus, like, trying to hide your work van, because, like, I feel like somebody's more likely to break into your van to, like, steal tools than they are to break in a van that's
Steal
a camper
blankets.
van.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blankets.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. In New York City, it's like the complete opposite compared to everywhere else in the
Yeah.
country. Like, oh, you're living in your van? We'll leave this person alone. Whereas if you're not, okay, we're going to tag the side of your van.
Have you ever had a knock in New York?
I've never had a knock anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been really lucky.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's because I try and make it so stealth. I've never had a knock. Other than you come and knock.
Hey, you up? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's sad to see you go.
I know.
You're like, you seriously are a staple. It's like, you know, there's, like you said, a lot of people have kind of been in on the spot since the video, but it's like, you know, we had Drew, we had, like, all our core people, but, like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like everybody's leaving now again. It's like, I feel like I'm a lane, and, like, every time some people leave, I, like, create the new VanAlley group, and then, like, you know, my friend Mike came back, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is Chad, this is you know, it's like, who are these bizarro friends? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
I don't know. I mean, this place definitely isn't going to be here forever. I mean,
No, right. I mean,
like
we've
3 to 5 years, it's gone for
yeah,
sure.
you
but-
know about all the, like, plans and everything.
Yeah, I finally looked them up because I
Yeah.
heard that Senator Schumer approved the plans for the park on the north side of this one
Sure.
to start construction.
Yeah.
And then I was like, whoa, what? There's been plans that have been waiting. So I finally, after I saw that, I looked it up. And yeah, this whole place is going to be gonzo.
Yeah. The
Like the building next to us,
Right.
getting all to, I mean, it's going to be a beautiful park. It would
Right.
be awesome to park next to, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's way gone. So I'm nervous about that. I don't know. I mean, like I said, for 8 months, I parked here every single time that I came into town. So I don't know where I would go.
the first couple nights that I slept here, they were North 12th used to have a building and, like, these oil drums, and every morning at 7 a.m. I woke up to, like, like the crane, but it's a jackhammer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like breaking up the
Vibrating
concrete
the
to
floor.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like just sleeping on like I didn't even think I had a mattress. I think I had spray foam, and I was like laying on like pillows. But yeah. Anyway, it's kind of like VanAlley, no matter where it is, it's always just like, there's the idea behind it, and everybody's lived here, and it's like a sad moment when it dies, but we'll have a funeral for it.
Yeah. VanAlley definitely isn't the street though. It's the community of people.
Right.
Like, I've said this before. I've never had this this van life community anywhere else. Like,
Right.
you acknowledge each other when you see each other other places, but like, where else is there a street with like? I mean, right now, there's 9 vans on the street.
Yeah.
Right now.
I think so.
We just saw one like pull away. There's probably another one pulling in. Like,
yeah.
It's constantly rotating, and nowhere else do you get that. So
Yeah. I mean, I've stayed at like random, massive van life gathering, like, Joshua Tree, BLM land. And yeah, nobody acknowledges each other because it's like they're too scared. But here it's like you have to walk past them.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm worried about. Like, there's not like that, like you're parked at the end of the street. There's not that like
you have to walk
traffic,
past. Yeah.
and like it's just like that,
Yeah. It's going to be sad.
But anyway, thanks for being the reintroduction of season 2.
Yeah, I'm glad we ended it on a really sad, depressing note.
Yeah, no, right? Aren't you glad? Yeah, if you wanted to move to New York City in a van, would you ever reach out? Would you ever give anybody? I guess, would you ever answer anybody's questions if they reached out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, since I did the Patrick, New Jersey Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel, since I had a van tour on that, I've been getting a lot more people hitting me up on my Instagram about questions. Not just about specific to van life, but like specific to VanAlley. Like, where can I find it? Hey, like, I just had one 2 days ago from a gal who said, I'm moving out of my apartment because it's too expensive. I'm going to live in my car. Like, she's not even in a van, it's in a car. She's like, what's the bathroom situation? What are tips for me? So I told her where VanAlley was. I told her the tips and everything, and she's like 4 cars down from me right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like, so yeah, I absolutely, if people want to reach out, ask any questions. I love answering questions and helping people out, so.
Directly into the camera, what's your Instagram?
Oh, my Instagram. Perfect. I'm going to get so many followers. It is
This is not about that.
It's Van Life Crash Pad. Like we talked about. I'm living in a van as an alternative to my crash pad. All one word on Instagram.
Yeah, it's not don't follow him. Just message him and
just message. Don't give me the follows.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Thanks for stopping by. As always, hopefully we make more of these. If not, hopefully this was one entertaining episode. We'll see you next time. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a good one. That's I are the Borg.
I don't know what the Borg. Oh my god. Oh my god.
How do I stop it?
We've recorded over it accidentally.
Yeah, I hit record and it said Mark 1.
It said it deleted everything?
It said it deleted everything?
No. It just said Mark 1.
It said those words.
What did you
I
hit?
pressed this button. Yeah, that deleted everything.
It's still recording. So.
Just over it.
How do I press stop?
The stop button.